But he's saying here, look, those who are of Messiah have impaled the flesh with its passions and the desires. So the flesh's passions need to be impaled, killed, done. But that doesn't mean you don't have any more passion. Just like when he said, I want you to have joy, so my joy can be complete, so you'd have joy like mine, doesn't mean there's no more joy. Just like he said, I didn't come to destroy, to fulfill, doesn't mean there's no more Torah. He's not saying here there should be no more passion. You should be incredibly passionate. Shaul is an incredibly passionate guy. He is very zealous. But notice how his zealousness expressed itself. It started out killing the believers. That was a wrongly directed passion. Okay? There are those, it says in Scripture, because of their passion for Elohim, will turn you in to be killed. So that's a passion that's not in the right place. So we have to be very careful when our emotions are involved. And so how our emotions are running in our lives, and if they're running amok, we have a problem. That is a measure of our maturity. And almost all of the division, strife, quarreling comes from passions that are running amok. We get upset, we get angry. I remember being a guest, and I was probably right around the time I first taught this teaching. I was a guest at a Sukkot to speak, and right away we were meeting before we were having dinner before the actual meeting was going to be after dinner, and we were sitting around some campfires, and people were cooking and making the food and everything. It was more of a campground type of place for a feast. And sitting on the other side of the fire, probably a good 20 feet from me, I couldn't even really see the person that well, I heard a voice yell out, "So, where do you stand on this calendar thing?" Because after all, one of the emotional things is they want to know if the teacher, speaker, agrees with them so they can walk around going, "Hey, he agreed with me." So my answer he didn't like, which is what I said. I said, well, listen, I think all of you on all sides of this thing are wrong. And I explained because of this part here, because none of you were able to maintain your shalom and your fruit of the Spirit. This person got angry and could not and jumped out of his chair and started yelling at me from across the fire. Do you see what was the problem? Passions that were not under control, that were not properly directed. Okay, nothing wrong with passion, but his were not directed correctly. So just my not agreeing with him got him to literally jump out of a chair and start yelling at me across a fire in front of a bunch of people. Could you imagine? Okay? Because the emotions are leading instead of being led. So instead of you being in control and allowing the emotions to flow correctly, the emotion is leading. And so what happens is, and in these divisions here, and again, this wasn't really part of what I was going to say today, but we're going to go through it anyway, is we become emotionally invested in the idea or in the concept, and that's why we get angry. Because now that we've emotionally invested ourselves, not agreeing with me means you're not agreeing with me. Now you're rejecting me, you see? Instead of not agreeing with what I said, now you're not agreeing with me. Now it's personal. You're rejecting and arguing against me because I've now emotionally bonded with this thing, with this idea, with this behavior, with whatever it is, I've bonded with it. So now it and me, whatever the item is, we're not separable. Now we're completely connected. You see how that could be the problem? All right? And so once you've emotionally bonded, now you really are setting yourself up for a potential problem. Okay, so that's why people get so upset. Because now they take it as a personal attack or personal rejection. Think about the people in your family that get really angry when you no longer are doing the things that they're doing. Well, they're personally bonded to that life, that Christian life, that worldly life, whatever it was that you're no longer doing, so that they've bonded with Christmas. And now you tell them, I'm not going to be doing Christmas. Now how do they react? Oh, you're judging me, you're attacking me. No, I am not doing this concept called Christmas that you are embracing. It has nothing to do with you. It's Christmas that I don't want to do. But you're taking it personally because you have identified yourself with the thing you're doing. Okay? You can have it the other way around too. Somebody may be breaking Shabbat, you're keeping Shabbat, and you get all angry about it. Why? They're not hurting Shabbat by not doing it any more than you're helping Shabbat by doing it. You're helping you by doing it, and they're hurting themselves by not doing it. Why are you upset about it? Why do you get all angry and take it personally? Because somehow you've bonded with it and taken it as your own personal thing that you're now somehow responsible for in some way. That's where divisions start to come, the envy. Is this making any sense?